So I think quite a few leftists out there are either very sympathetic to anarchism or, they are themselves anarchists. I mean, unless you're a Marxist, like a very, stringent Marxist, then you hate the anarchists. I have I don't know, I feel like I have a complex relationship with anarchism. I probably need to read a lot more anarchist theory because um, I'm a little bit underread in leftist theory, if I'm being honest. But I've talked to a lot of people, I've engaged with these ideas, and I mean, I don't necessarily have an issue with anarchism theoretically. Um, I mean, I don't think the state, um, I don't think I have a moral obligation to obey the state. And I think that's actually most people's position. I think many people would say, oh, well, if I think the state is doing something immoral, then I should follow my conscience. I shouldn't follow the state. I agree with that. And is there some God-given right that some people have to rule? No, of course not. I don't think many people believe in absolute, in the divine right of kings anymore. And I mean, but presidents, members of parliament, or members of Congress, or whoever you're talking about, they don't have some, innate right to rule. They're not inherently better than than the rest of us. They just happen to rule for any number of reasons. So I mean, there's a lot in the anarchist critique. And is it possible that human society could move beyond certain hierarchical structures and certain forms of social order into a more egalitarian one, a more bottom-up approach to social engagement? That's possible. That's certainly possible. You shouldn't discount it. And I think probably my ideal is, some kind of direct democracy. So I think I would have to say philosophically, I'm probably in favor of that. I just don't know if I would call myself an anarchist. I guess I would need to, this is sort of a message for any anarchists out there. Feel free to reach out to me. I want to talk. I want to debate, or not debate. I want to talk. I want to converse. I want to, absorb the reasons why anarchism is so compelling to so many people, because I don't know. It just strikes me as kind of a dead end politically. Because it's, I mean, this isn't, this isn't a criticism. This criticism isn't original to me, but it's not clear, how one goes forward as an anarchist. We are so used to, certain structures of hierarchy. We're so used to certain groups of people having, coercion in their arsenal as a way of establishing social order, that it's almost like when someone says, imagine a post-capitalist world. It's almost, you can't do it. Basically, it's I think who said this, was it Slavoj Žižek, or someone said it was easier to imagine the end of the world than it is to imagine the end of capitalism. And so that's sort of my opinion is regarding anarchism. It's well, it's sort of harder for me to imagine the end of the world than to imagine the end of the state. Now, granted, modern states are a new phenomenon. So that's important in keeping in mind. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, for one thing, I don't know, like some forms of, hierarchy um, are, probably perfectly fine. And some forms of, and some people probably have more, there's more reason for some people to um, have a say in this or that matter than others. Like, not everything is a level playing field. Not everything is completely democratic. Um, so it's like, I look at the state and I'm like, I don't know if this is inherently bad. Um, I think we should always question the state. I think we should always try to hold the state as accountable as we can be, as we are able to. But I think, as far as I can tell anyway, I'm like more. Uh, I don't think we can step out of the conversation about states at this point in our historical development. Um, so I think it's a form of politics or anarchism is a form of politics which is not necessarily incorrect, but I just don't know how helpful it is. I don't know, um, the way forward. I don't know, um, what benefit it can give us. Whereas if we're willing to at least to some extent work with the state, um, I could see. I think I could give quite a good empirical case for um, the benefits that could give, or an empirical case for the benefits of working against the state in other respects. Um, so this is just a little rant I wanted to get out there. Anarchists, please reach out to me. I want to hear from you. I'm very interested.